What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to discuss this female-led Fast and Furious spinoff and discuss why I believe it's okay. Now, there's a lot of talk coming from certain areas of the internet against this female Fast and Furious spinoff. And here's the deal. Where I stand on this kind of stuff is you make a good movie. That's flat out it. If it's going to be all female, you don't make it because it's all female, right? That's not the sole purpose of the movie. That's not why you go see the movie. You go see the movie because it's a good movie. So where I stand on the Captain Marvel stuff or anything that involves like these female driven kind of things, at the end of the day, I just want a good movie, okay? I don't want virtue signaling. I don't want super wokeness, right? But again, for the sake of being it. That's it. And that's where I do want to just make myself very, very clear to try to connect with you guys and hopefully so you guys can see where I'm coming from. And when it comes to Fast and Furious, that's where actually, like with this, I see this as a completely fine thing. There's a lot of things where, like Disney movies and things in movies in general, movies, TV, where they reboot them or they start them over and they switch the genders or the race or whatever of the cast, but they do it solely for the reason to do it, right? For the Twitter points, right? Or for brownie points on Twitter, stuff like that. So that's where I say, okay, well, you're just doing it to do it, right? You're just doing it so you get those likes on social media. But at the end of the day, those projects end up failing. With Fast and Furious, I don't see the people that think that, which a lot of times I do agree with, by the way. When it comes to Fast and Furious, they're attacking Fast and Furious, and that's kind of where I draw the line. This movie has never been diverse to be to shove it in your face. And actually, Tyrese even said something almost identical to that at that Orlando, the premiere when they had the concert and they had the trailer where he talked about diversity in these movies. And again, like from my point of view, I was like, oh boy, like I don't want to hear his political point of view, right? Because now I don't want to now separate it and be like, oh well, maybe I don't agree with him as a person, stuff like that. But I thought he gave a phenomenal answer when it came to diversity, and he literally said, hey, we're showing you through the movie. Like that, like the movie is really good and we all gel and it makes it work and we are all family, and literally it's a show, not tell. We're not telling you we're diverse. We're not telling you that we're woke or whatever you want, for whatever medium or for whatever example you want to use. They're not shoving it in your face. It's just happening. And you know what the difference is? It's good. Now, again, I mean, here's the deal. There's always going to be the people that hate Fast and Furious or think it's this or think it's that. Okay, so the people that are already anti-Fast and Furious, they'll never understand, right? And that's honestly where I also feel like it's going to have a disconnect with this whole people being upset that there's a female reboot kind of thing, right? I think people are going to be upset partially because they may not even like Fast and Furious in general, and now all of a sudden there's these. I mean, look, Hobbs and Shaw did a spinoff, and those were two men, right? And it did phenomenal. But the point is, it doesn't matter who they... You know what Hobbs and Shaw did that was so good? Is took two characters that Fast and Furious built up to be amazing characters in amazing movies, and with two very good actors in general, right? With The Rock and Jason Statham, put them in their own movie, had a cast around them that also did good, and kept overall the feel of what Fast and Furious was. That's what made that movie good. It had the over-the-top insane action, but it had heart. It had character moments. It had a story that actually connects to Fast and Furious, right? Everything worked. So if you went into that movie expecting basically another Fast and Furious experience, you were getting that just a little bit different. I mean, they definitely did do things differently than Fast and Furious, and that was good. They captured that. So in a female one, I don't think it matters that it's female. In fact, I had said weeks ago when the Han trailer, when the trailer came out and I made the Han video about it, I had said, like, look, this is what you want to do. You want to build up these movies. There's only 2 left, maybe 3, right? If 10 is split like Vin Diesel said he wants it to be. So even if it's 2 or 3, doesn't matter. I mean, this is $1 billion every movie franchise, right? I mean, Hobbs and Shaw almost made $800 million, and again, that's just 2 characters on a side thing. Now, you could say if that one only made, I think 766, I think it was the number. I wouldn't actually expect a female one to make more than 500, 600 million, right? Because I don't think somebody like Michelle Rodriguez or something like that, I don't think they would necessarily have the power that The Rock and Jason Statham have in general, right? I think it would be blamed on other things in the media, but again, I think it's what you want to do. The franchise only has a couple movies left in its main installments, and then you want to say, hey, Hobbs and Shaw 2. Hey, a movie with Letty and Mia. Hey, a movie with Han and Giselle, one that I've been, internally here pitching to you guys that I truly want, as long as both, well, firstly, as long as Giselle comes back, and secondly, as long as they both survive, Fast 9 and Fast 10, I think they should make a spinoff of those two. I mean, you got to think about the future of the franchise, because again, main installments, it's $1 billion every single time, like for sure, right? At this point, it wasn't always, but now over the last couple movies, it's definitely become that. And then even the spinoffs, if they make $500, $600, $700 million off of like a $150 million budget, I mean, they're going to consistently be making money. There's definitely room to grow. And so I don't, again, like with all of that being said, I don't have a problem with it, right? Because it's just, and also the final thing, one of the final things is I've seen a lot of people say like, if you want to make a female version, just make a female movie, stuff like that. And here's the deal. I mean, I get it. Like if you're, again, for examples of like, say it's like an all male, say just, I make up a thing and say it's an all male thing when it first came out and it did incredible. And now you want like a spin-off or you want a reboot of it in general, but you're going to switch all of the genders of those characters, right? Or then if you like reference it like very, very little, right? Like it's kind of not even the same property, but it is just for name value, right? Then it's like, well, why don't you just make your own? And I do agree with that kind of stuff, right? It's just like, why do you have to, does all these characters have to switch like genders or races or whatever? Why can't you just make your own movie if you're so into the whole, like, we need to make these characters powerful? Well, then just make your own movie and you could do whatever you want. So I understand that, but here's the deal. Fast and Furious isn't like that. It's not like Fast and Furious was built. Okay, I guess in general, you could say Fast and Furious was built off of Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. You could argue that. And I'd say, for the most part, that is what it was built. But even for movie 1, Mia and Letty were there, right? There were female characters, and there's been female characters throughout the entire series. Again, diversity, both in races, in ethnicities, in genders, all this kind of stuff, it's always been there. And it's never been forced. It's just, hey, this is how it is. And if you fall in love with it, you fall in love with it. And we have. And that's what, and again, that's like, so this is a video defending it, by the way, in case people at this point still don't know. I am fine with it, right? Because they've always been there. Sure, maybe they haven't been the backbone of it, but like, again, then you go to what I was saying about the spinoffs. It's like, well, either that or the franchise just stops after 10, or you just do just Hobbs and Shaw movies, but like that's, and I want that, right? I want like a series on that, but there's more than just those. Like if Vin Diesel survives, I imagine that he could maybe pop up in these female movies because probably Letty would be in it, right? And even Mia, right, his sister. So there's lots of possibilities of what you could do going forward. It's just a smart decision because you have these characters there and then you just use them somewhere else. So for these kind of things, I am talking to those people that are basically not okay with it, right? Because at the end of the day, I think it's fine. I think it is right, or well, I mean, you can have any opinion you want. I should say that, right? It doesn't matter if you want to think whatever you want to think. That's totally cool, right? Don't let me stop you. But for the people that are so against it, but for the same reasons that they're against other kind of situations like this, let me tell you that it's just not that situation, which I think is a good thing. Fast and Furious, honestly, is a fantastic example of the right way of how you do things. Literally, it's how they've even approached it. Again, with Tyrese saying it, like, they show you through the movie. You come to love these characters because they do cool things, because they have these relationships to each other, because they grow as people, because we grow with them, because they have all these adventures. Because they do, because the movies have them happen. They don't tell you that. They don't force you into liking these characters. They're just there, and they constantly build, and through time, you grow to have a connection to them. And that is the way to do it. It's not woke. It's not saying you must like this. And, okay, I guess I don't know how they're going to market the female one, right? I mean, they could definitely market it as, hey, it's the females, like, they're badass, and they're coming out there, and you have to see it. But at the same time, haven't they always done that? Like, they've always, anytime Michelle Rodriguez is in those movies, they've always given her cool things. She's always fought. I mean, she fought Ronda Rousey in the 7th one. Like, she always fights a really strong other female. Pretty much in every movie that she's in Fast and Furious, she always has a really awesome fight scene with somebody else. And she probably has equal, if not more than Dom. So, like, it's like this is just how they do things. It's not like it's anything new. So, at the end of the day, I'm very excited. Like, this is something that I had wanted without even knowing that it was being worked on. This is something that I would see night one, right? And I'm completely okay with something like this. This is, in my opinion, how you do this diversity, this doing a all-female kind of thing. It's how you do it right, in my opinion. If you don't agree, totally cool. Let me know. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree and why in the comments below. We have a nice discussion on it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys are subscribed and have that bell icon rung. We do Fast and Furious videos on this channel quite often. We will continue to, indefinitely through Fast 9, through Fast 10 parts 1 and 2, and beyond. Okay, so loads of Fast and Furious content coming, not just over the coming weeks and months, but even over the coming years. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.